the few people who can talk to this person to understand. Recently, a friend of ours lost his son, and then he invited me to come and preach. His first son, a pastor, and I went to preach. When I finished, everybody was talking about the message. Why? I've been there before. So sometimes you're walking about and you hear people say, oh, look at the way the devil attacked Brother Isu's children, and look at the way witches and wizards. You mean at this my level, witches and wizards have got a portion in my life? How ignorant can you be? In him I live and move and have my being, and there is no satanic agenda formed against me that prospers. But you know what? All things work together for my good because I love him. I don't credit the devil with anything God does in my life, and I don't debit God's account with anything God allows in my life. You know what? But at the end of the day, everything I go through, every pain I experience, I use it as a ministry tool. And today, by the grace of God, after 9 years, God has used me to put smile on many people's face. He has used me to put a mama to put a smile on people's faces. People that wanted to commit suicide because they lost a relative, they look at us standing, and globally around the whole world, when somebody's going through something and they cannot handle it, people tell them, remember Brother Isud, remember Mama Rosemont. They are still standing and they are still preaching. You understand what I'm talking? So you just want to listen to the devil and demons. Oh, and you know, witches and wizards did this, and principalities and powers did this. What are you talking about? If principalities and powers are so strong, why is the man himself walking around? You mean the devil is more interested in my children and my members than myself? But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Clement, whatever happens in a human being's life, if you can stand, you encourage somebody tomorrow. And the most important thing in life is that we are called to be ministers of the gospel of Christ. Somebody said something, they said, that man, that thing happened to him, and he's walking about as if nothing happened. Oh, so you want me to walk as if something happened? I should look mad for you to be happy. I shouldn't know a yellow tie because you are wearing a black one. I refuse to follow your example. I refuse to follow your example. I refuse to sit where you sit. I refuse to live a life that will let people think my God is ineffective and there's no love in my God and there's no power in my God. I choose to say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me, and you prepare devil before me in the presence of my enemies. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that have experienced losing a relative and a friend before, anytime you hear somebody has lost a relative or a friend, that is the time for you to be there. Use your experience and minister to them. Tell them, you know, I've gone through this thing before. Huh? How are you? Been there before? Yeah. And today mommy called you to receive an award. She's been there before. We've been there before, and we know what it looks like, and we use our experience to encourage other people. We use our experience to talk to other people. We tell them, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have give I thee. Where you are now, I've been there before. God himself has been there before. When in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve died spiritually on the same day, God himself has been there before when his son died on the cross. But on the third day, he raised him from the dead. And anybody that loses a relative, people really never die. It shall come to pass in the last day that the sound of the trumpet shall blow, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Come on, clap your hands and scream. Listen, if I believed that our children died on the day of Archie's wedding, I will not mention Amanda and Audrey, but on the day of Archie's wedding, I mentioned their name because I know they are in heaven looking at the rest of us. I'm not talking to somebody at all. I know. Dr. Menzo Otabil told me, he said, Eastwood, I've said, if you had closed the meeting, I'll be satisfied. He said, I was waiting to see what you would do with Amanda and Audrey before you tackle Archie. He said, I was sitting down and I was saying, what is Eastwood going to do today? And what is happening in Archie's mind right now about the loss of his sisters? Can the day be complete? And when I took the microphone and I said the eulogy to Archie, and I began to talk about my daughters as if they were sitting in the room, Dr. Otabil said, I looked at you and I said, boy. And he said, you know what? For my personal experience, because he was going through something at that time, he said, for my experience, that was confusing me. When I looked at you and listened to you, I received that message and it blessed me personally.